I'm going to introduce our special guest. Please welcome Jamie Foxx. He is coming.
There he is.
Hey! How's everyone today?
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance to take pictures of Jamie out with me.
How are you? Go cool. What's up?
Tita. Good.
Okay. Okay, Jamie, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
We are really excited to have you here today. And welcome to Toronto, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. I've been coming to Toronto for a few years now. So it's like coming home. I stayed here for months at a time shooting film.
So what films have you shot here in Toronto?
Well, you know what? There's a cult classic out there. And I still, to this day, I don't understand how this got overlooked for the Oscars. There's a cult classic that was shot here called Booty Call. and it was my first being introduced to Toronto and Canada and its culture, and how nice people are here, and how accommodating they were. And it was an experience. I remember going to some club out here called
Atlantis.
Atlantis. And yeah, I'm in Atlantis, and what was amazing was seeing all of the cultures like dancing and singing. Black people, white people, all different cultures dancing on beat at the same time. And what got me was that I thought somebody had slipped something in my drink because the floor was spinning. Anybody been to the place? I said, what is going on? But it was a great, crazy, fun place to be in. And I said, since I've been coming back.
Take a picture
Did
of
you
my
not
iPhone.
introduce the movie Ray here as well?
We did. We introduced the movie Ray, which is a beautiful breakthrough of a movie, especially what you're doing as far as film festivals are concerned, what you're trying to do. Because the history of Ray Charles is very interesting. It didn't have a studio. It was an independent film. And Taylor Hackett had wanted to do this film for a number of years. And when we finally got together to do it, it was just like, just a gut punch that this is a great story. Nobody knew what Ray Charles was about. Everybody thought Ray Charles was just, America the Beautiful. And once I read that story, it was like, wow, how do we tell this story without having anybody tell us how to tell it? So we did it independently. Taylor Hackett called a guy by the name of Phil Anschutz, who owns the Staples Center in LA, and we begged him for the money. Mr. Anschutz said, I will give you the money, but the story has to have a redemptive quality to it because he's a devout Christian, he's a billionaire, but he's a devout Christian. So we had to sell him on the movie. So when he came to New Orleans to see us work, he gave us a little bit of the money. And then when he got there, he wanted to see where his money was going. And so when he got there, as he walked in, I was dressed as Ray. And the minute he walked in, I go, hey y'all, tell everybody, Ray Charles in town. Hey, you know what? I'm not thinking too much. So he walks in, and we recreate Let the Good Times Roll. And when he saw that, he says, you know what? Here's the rest of the money. Here's the rest of the money. And I believe, I'll give you the actual history. It was $35 million. And then when he took it to all the different movie places, nobody wanted it. And then Ron Meyer, who worked at Universal, used to sneak in to see Ray Charles perform when he was 16 years old. He said, I'll buy that film without watching the frame. And the rest is history.
Now, Ray was heavily involved in the whole process, was he not?
Most definitely. Meeting Mr. Charles for the first time, he walks up, and I said, Mr. Charles, I want to do a great job with this movie. He says, hey, you know what, listen, if you can play the blues man, you can do it. So we sat down on dual pianos, and we started playing the blues together. And then we went from playing the blues to Thelonious Monk. Anybody know something about Thelonious Monk? It's a little tricky, right? So as we're playing that, he's playing this interesting thing, and then I hit a wrong note. He goes, damn it, why did you hit that wrong note? And I said, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Charles, I was just trying to keep up with it. He said, and he gave me a metaphor. He said, The notes are right underneath your fingers. All you have to do is take time out to play the right notes, which is basically what life is. Life has all the notes that you want to play right underneath us. And he said, once you take time out to play those right notes, life is harmony. So once I got the notes together, he jumped up, hey, that's it, the kids got it, and he walked out. And he walked out in such a way where you knew that was the last time we were going to see him. He transitioned on to heaven shortly after that. He got a chance to see the movie in its entirety. He gave me the thumbs up, and then he walked up into the sunset.
Tell us about your journey as an actor, as a musician, as an entertainer, because you touch so many different parts of creation. Tell us, the journey from Wanda, to Ray, to Nathan, right? That's a.
Well, the journey was very interesting. I come from Terrell, Texas. I don't know if you know a lot about Texas, but it's a very small town, 12,000 people, where the railroad tracks separate the black side from the white side. And but my grandmother, Estelle Marie Talley and Martha Lois Talley, taught me that I'm going to have to go on the other side of the tracks if I'm going to be able to pursue a life, pursue a career, be able to travel. And going on those other sides of the tracks, my grandmother made sure that I learned how to play the piano. I learned how to play classical piano. So I got gigs by going playing on the white side of town, different wine and cheese parties, and which is very interesting and a different dynamic, in the States when it came to sort of racial things. Little young black kid coming to I'll never forget walking into this this one house to play for this Christmas party, and older white man, from his generation, and me and my friend was there. Says, me and my friend drive up and he says, "What a two are you doing here? What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I'm here to play for the Christmas party." He says, "Well, I can't have two," and he used the N-word in my house at the same time. And I was like, "Oh, okay, I've been used to hearing that, right?" But I go in, I play for the party. He ends up giving me $100 at the end because he saw the way I played, he saw the way I carried myself, he saw that I was an intelligent young man that had some sort of talent. So by knocking down those types of barriers and walls, I was able to go to college on a classical piano scholarship, which was really mind-blowing because at my college it was 81 different countries. So I go from blacks, whites, and Mexicans to people from all over the world, child prodigies from Japan, people from Venezuela. I mean, it was amazing. I had a Russian pianist teacher and a Yugoslavian music theory teacher. And so by being in San Diego, however, that gave me a window to where Los Angeles was, which is only an hour away. So I would drive up to LA every weekend and started doing stand-up comedy when I was like, 18, 19 years old. And I would take my music and sort of, intertwine it with the stand-up comedy. Like I would take a Snoop Dogg song, like Rolling Down the Street Smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice. I would go on stage and sing that like opera. Rolling down the street smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice. The juice, the juice, the juice, the arch. So